So
Always.
Okay.
Coach, how's your unit looking so far?
They're getting better. Each day I learn a little bit more about them. And, what they're doing is they're coming out there every day, and they're starting to learn the defense better. So now what I'm trying to do is just get them to hone in on, reading their keys, technique, and stuff like that.
Someone specifically brought up Raven and DeShazer as a couple individuals who have stood out.
They're making some plays, but, they still have a long way to go. So, as they need to get better at reading their keys. They're fast, athletic, and they're physical. So, the one thing that stands out about them is, the actual part about coming up and hitting people. I can't teach them how to hit somebody, but what I can teach them is how to cover, how to read their keys. So that's the biggest thing that we're trying to do is, they need to read their keys better.
Talent-wise, where is the defensive backs unit compared to what you expected coming in?
You know what? We're a lot more athletic as a whole than what I've ever had. They don't understand the game yet, as a whole, as well as I would like them to understand, but they're getting there. And like I said, it goes back to reading your keys, because that's a position, if you don't read your keys, it's a touchdown. So we got to make sure that those guys are disciplined, and they're doing their job, not saying something, and thinking they're saying it, but actually reading it, and being in the right place at the right time.
You like what you've seen out of Howard Matthews so far?
I have. The one thing he needs to do is he needs to practice better. His habits just need to be better as far as going hard every play, and being more vocal. In our defense, the safety is a quarterback of the defense, so you need to be able to talk, get everybody lined up and let everybody know, exactly what we're doing. So, he's starting to get a feel for that, And one thing about this group that I didn't realize is I don't have very many people that played. These guys are all new. So, they were out there. They may have, played a little bit, but as far as starting games, I think the person that started the most games is probably Dustin Harris. I think has the most experience out of my group. So they're real young as far as actual game time experience.
Was it nice to get Harris back?
It was great to get Harris back. He's been great. He's been a leader in the room. I've been very impressed with Stephen Terrell also as a leader. Those two, I think, are my leaders. Campbell is more of a quiet guy. I think he's a guy that, from what I'm hearing, he leads more by his play. But Dustin Harris, he's been a guy that's been vocal. He sits in front in meetings. He helps guys out. He gets excited. He's having fun. So, he's a guy that it was good to get him out there today and see him move around. He was actually better than what I thought.
Coach Sumlin said he'd like to see him put on quite a bit of weight between now and the start of the season. Do you see that as well, and how much weight?
He has to. I've been giving him crap about it because he's the lightest guy in my room, and he's a veteran. So, he needs to put on some pounds, because the style of football we want to play, our corners have to be physical, and so I believe that if your corners can be physical, then the whole group is going to be physical. So he needs to put on some pounds. If he can put on 5 or 10 pounds, I think he would be good. But, he needs to put on some pounds at some point.
You talked about the knowledge of the game. Is that going to be because they're young repetition, or is it more film study, or how do you see them gaining that knowledge of the game?
They get that knowledge by both, film study, practicing it, playing. We need to put those guys, in the right. What I do is I break it down and I teach them everything by sections and get them to understand it. And the main thing is eyes, reading your keys and seeing what's going on, and not guessing, So if I can get those guys to read their keys, and play what they see, then we'll be okay. But if they're out there